Afternoon all. Right, so it's a lovely shiny day, and as I mentioned yesterday, I've been to see someone about my first tattoo, so that's planning and in the works. So hopefully that'll be happening before the end of the 30-day challenge. So I can show you guys that. Um, and on to the second part of my day. I'm currently sat in the car park of one of the out of town shopping places local to me, um, and I'm going to go and bamble about and generally waste my day and hopefully pick up some new clothes for work and things like that. So nothing super exciting. But yeah, when I get home, I'm going to go through some Toy Soldier stuff, particularly my new army, the Caradron Overlords, um, steampunk dwarves with hot air balloons, as you might be able to tell. I'm into my steampunkery, so yeah, that'll be something else to talk about at a later date. But yeah, so I'm gonna head inside, get something to eat, and then I'm going to go shopping. Afternoon, back from shopping. So for today, we are going to take a look at wargaming. Now, some of you may instantly be cringing. Others of you may be just like, oh, right, awesome. So, with a quick change of scenery, I'm going to go from facing the wrong way to facing the right way. So, in front of you, you will see two of the newest releases for the Caradron Overlords. We have the Grunstock Thunderers over here, who have lots of heavy guns over the bottom on the bottom there, and we have the Grunstock Gunhauler, which is the smaller of the airships. You'll see a clearer picture of that in a second. But yeah, so this is going to be basically what you do when you decide to buy your toys, how to open them up, and what you do once you've got them out of the packaging. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop it here, and I'm going to open up the gun hauler because I haven't opened any of the airships lately. So I'm just going to pause it here, do my unpacking, and then I'll carry on. So once you've gotten your gun hauler out of the box, you will be greeted by this view with a lovely picture of the gun hauler all done up nice and pretty. This is a little booklet that contains not only the instructions but also the rules for the miniature, and on the back all the Citadel colours that were used for different parts of the miniature. But now you get this. Now this is what we call a sprue, which basically contains all the various bits and pieces and knickknacks you need to put together the gun hauler. Now it is made out of plastic and it's pressure cast, and as you can see, there are lots of little pieces and bits and bobs and gewgaws and doodads, and that basically that all goes together to make a gun hauler. In other kits there may be various bits left over. For example, the Arcanaut kit has loads of bits after I finished constructing my 10 men who are sat over there. But yeah, so obviously this is plastic. Some models are cast in resin or metal, in which case you want to use super glue to assemble them, something like Loctite Powerflex gel. This stuff is the absolute legend because it's nice and flexible. It gives with the model, and it's what I use exclusively when it comes to metal or resin. But yeah, so like I said, this is plastic, so that will be requiring plastic glue, otherwise known as polycement. Now this is a bottle of Rebel plastic glue. I always like to have a lighter on standby, simply because the nozzles on the lighter, on the fluid, clog up, So that's all I need to do is spark it, touch it to the flame, and there's a little pop as it clears it. Nothing serious. But then to actually put the models together, that's all you need is something to cut it out, clean up the edges where it's been cut, and glue it together. So these are my clippers. They are flush cut clippers because, as you can see, when they're closed, they are flush. But that can still sometimes leave little bits and pieces on the edge of models where they've been joined to the sprue. In which case, I use a hobby knife to clean them up. And this I use to simply scrape away at the model bits, and that takes enough material away with it to basically to make the edges flush. Depending on the quality of your model, you may find you have big gaps which you need to fill. Now in that case you would use a substance called green stuff, which is an epoxy putty, and to get that into the right place and make it blend in with the rest of your model, you need to use some sculpting tools. Now this is my pack of sculpting tools, and they're dentist's tools basically, but they are of such a sort of shape, position and style that they make life a lot easier for me to actually do some sculpting, so I can position the putty as and where I want it. A point of warning, some older Games Workshop models are made out of a substance called fine cast. I'm not telling you to avoid them, but be careful. You will still need to use your super glue to put those together because they are a type of resin rather than plastic. The plastic glue will not work. So yeah, that's what you do to put together one of these. I'm going to stop it here, and I'm going to build this thing, and I'm going to take a couple of pictures for you and loop it together at the end. So the gun holder is, for all intents and purposes, complete. I've got one little bit that needs to stick on right there. It's got the cross bracing glued in, and that will fit on top of here like so. So that will give you a rough idea of what it's going to look like. If I do that, there you go. So that's roughly what it's going to look like. I've kept it separate with the flotation device and the actual shippy bit separate for ease of painting. Now this is technically what we call sub-assemblies. So basically there's a seated crew member. You might just be able to make out the legs in there, and then there's a standing crew member goes in here. Now I haven't built them yet, they're still on the sprue over there. But yeah, so that's what that is sort of the process. You clip everything out. But yeah, so that is how you. That is what the result of taking items off a sprue, building it onto the frame there. I have a bit of wood which I used to glue things on. Used to stick things onto the base temporarily to prime them. As you can see, that is from where the those little miniatures over there are. That's what I used to prime them. I may not do that with this ship. I may just sort of because there's too big an area. But anyway, I'm going to leave it here because I'm aware of how long the vlog is going to be running. That is my hobby. One of my primary hobbies at the moment is wargaming, and this is going to make a welcome addition to my dwarf or Caradron army. So I'm going to leave it here, and I'm going to wish you good folks a good night, and I will see you tomorrow when I'm back in work. I may actually go into Nerf stuff tomorrow, but anyway, that's another day. So have a good night.